They actually did it. The team actually did it. Oh, you've got to see this. Oh, wrong way. Actually, wait, hold on.
Race interview. Championship co-leader Lewis Hamilton remarked, and I quote, "We had a crucial win in the bag, no doubt about it, and to have it wasted like that is just disappointing. As a result, the usual leaders are pushed off the podium by unfamiliar faces, including Force India's Sergio Perez. His consistency and speed so far in the season would have been unique to the entire midfield, if not for a strikingly similar, and overall, even more fruitful, handful of races from rookie Vincent Miller. Many attribute his success to pure luck and bulletproof strategy, so we still do not know for sure if he stacks up against Perez, who trails him by a mere 3 points in the Drivers' Championship. Moving on, Week 1 of the NHL
I think I'll be the first to admit that there's definitely a lot of luck in those results, but I'm sure sooner or later it'll dawn on those guys that luck was not the only factor, or even the main factor. Anyway, check this out. Bam! Took him a couple weeks, but now the ML Army can set itself apart from the peasants. Not entirely sure if I'm not suited for this track or the car's not suited for it, but ever since the first simulator session I've been feeling really dodgy about this one. And ignore the Renault too, he's on an in-lap, that's the only reason I'm actually catching up. Oh well, an American driver in an American car is bound to struggle in the communist stronghold. Alright, I was really hoping we wouldn't be this slow. This is just a complete different ballgame from China. The other major talking point this weekend seems to be the absolute lack of tire wear. Seriously, you could probably do the entire race on one set of mediums if you tried hard enough. Not that you'd get away with it, but I would be considering a soft medium one-stop race, but Jeff told me the race is likely to start in the rain. Yeah, by the way, I thought the guy was talkative when I'm driving, but take him out to lunch and he literally doesn't shut up. Fortunately enough, we'll probably have enough time to design and manufacture a new set of barge boards before the European races kick in, and since we have a few high downforce ones coming up, it makes sense to decrease drag as much as we can. Man, this team's upgrade pace is just phenomenal. Okay, so now that we're on Supersofts, I'm starting to see a legitimate pattern. I thought it was unique to Bahrain, but it seems that on every track we're stronger on the softer compounds compared to the rest of the field than we are on harder ones. Although I wouldn't get my hopes up on placing this high in quality, though.
That's the end of the program. Box this lap so we can analyze the data. Box this lap.
That is some serious shit. Kvyat is just ripping and thrashing on his home soil. Sainz would be up there too, actually, but he's on mediums. The STRs have been on fire this weekend.
Guess who made the gossip columns this morning? Everyone's talking about this new rival you have. Check his stats out.
I guess American Sports Station wasn't the only one pitting me against Perez. Makes sense. We're the two guys unexpectedly shooting out of the midfield, and as the world of F1 knows, there can only be one. Although qualifying began with a clear sky, it was set to start raining very quickly, so Jeff made sure that I was one of the first people out on track. A single hot lap on Supersofts yielded a 1:38.8 and 7th place on the table, ensuring my place in Q2. The rain was pouring consistently by the start of the second session, but since the race was set to be largely dry, I ran on my dry setup, trying to stay closer to the apexes and farther from the barriers, negotiating the understeer and oversteer the best I could, and trying to find the best compromise between the greasy, slippery rubber line and the cleaner, more stable but slower alternative line. After my hot laps, the rain worsened, surprisingly knocking Kvyat, Ricciardo, and Hamilton out of Q3 as they came out too late to drive a viable lap. After an initial banker lap in the beginning of Q3 on wets, we waited out in the garage until the track began to rapidly dry out towards the end of the session. We squeezed ourselves as close to the ending timer as we could to go out on a nearly dry run on intermediates. Flying down the first straight, we didn't actually get to use DRS because of the wet weather conditions, but we came into the first corner so fast that braking at the 150 mark still caused us to drift wide off of the apex in second gear. We hit the exit curb way too hard, compromising our Sector 1, but knowing that this was our one and only chance in Q3, we tried to salvage our lap the best we could. Going into turn 3, we lifted off the throttle, trying to stay close to the inside line, and then braking nice and early into third gear and drifting just a little off the apex and a little out of the exit curb off the track, costing us quite a bit of time. Coming to the end of Sector 1, I was actually surprised to find myself in the purple, but that probably had more to do with the timing of my run rather than its quality. Still, we came out of the corner trying to manage the oversteer and staying just a little bit off of the rubbered line in order to get a better entrance into the next corner, nailing it in third gear, one lower than in the dry, and accelerating once again to brake early also in third gear to this next corner, extending our line just as far as the exit curb here to try to gain as much traction out of the corner as we can as we go into one of the most important corners on this track, going all the way down a second, cutting the apex, and trying to accelerate as cleanly as possible, though through incredible difficulty on these inters, to the crucial back straight of the track. No DRS once again for us. For this corner, it was crucial to get as straight a braking line as possible, especially in the wet, but we still locked up our front left, but managed to fit into the corner in first gear, accelerating up to second and taking this one nice and slow because of the reverse banking up through to fifth and braking at the black box on the right. Drifting out wide in this corner and first catching the car at the last second and bringing it up into second gear to clip the inside curb and preparing for the last two corners of the track. This is up to sixth here at the black box once again, trying to manage and gauge the conditions here on these inters and taking the last corner, making sure to be nice and easy on the car, not drift out too wide, almost cutting it there for a lap time of 1:52.5. With me placed in second, it turned out to be a very strange session after all. Kimi Räikkönen walked away with pole, but my teammate Esteban Gutierrez placed a mere couple hundredths behind me in third. Behind him, Nico Rosberg and the usual band of Williamses and Red Bulls added some much-needed normality to the rest of the top 10.
With all the action. And until then, it's goodbye. With that then, let's run through the grid order. Kimi Räikkönen starts today from pole position and a Haas alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid we have Gutierrez, Rosberg, Felipe Massa and Verstappen, Vettel, Bottas, Perez and Carlos Sainz, Hülkenberg, Alonso, Jenson Button and Ricciardo, Kvyat, Hamilton, Pascal Wehrlein and Jolyon Palmer, Haryanto and Magnussen, Felipe Nasser and Marcus Ericsson rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
So, obviously the strategy is not nearly this simple. The rain is set to stop really soon and the line will most likely be dry before the halfway point of the race. When it dries out, though, is going to be the main deciding factor on strategy. See, it's at times like this when you really get to appreciate the formation lap. In dry conditions, the track feels confined to a fairly small range of grip variations, but the moment it starts raining, that is all thrown out the window. So basically, to have any hope of a quick first lap, I have to learn to feel it now. It's not like starts in the dry were hard or anything, right? Well, now there's rain thrown into the mix, and we can really only wait and find out the hard way what that does to off-the-line grip. The wait has felt like forever, but finally the lights are coming on. Oh, my reaction time was not ideal. Damn, this thing's torque steering worse than a Honda Civic. I had to short shift second gear there just to regain traction. Like Kimi Räikkönen completely shat the bed off the line. And I can't even see Gutierrez anymore, to be honest. I was hoping that we'd somehow be able to capitalize on the quali. We definitely both have potential for a high points finish. Okay, nice and easy into the first corner. I was so worried about getting hit that I overshot my braking anyway. But we're through in one piece. Dios mío, Esteban. You had one job. I could just feel him catching up to me. Slowly but surely. Now, I'm still not feeling the car 100% though, but I'm going to have to get to that point really soon. Jeff, how's the forecast?
We should see rain stopping in around 5 minutes' time.
Just as I thought, as soon as I managed to come to terms with the car, I started to pull away. It's still sliding around like hell, but I think everyone else is dealing with the same crap. I guess I'm just dealing with it a little bit more efficiently.
Okay, I think the track will be drying out quite soon. Mind you don't burn out your tires. Okay, the safety car
You
is
can't be serious. Just as I had started building up a gap.
keep a close eye on that delta time. Make sure to keep it positive.
See, I wouldn't have even had a problem with the safety car if it came out a few laps later, but right now it's still raining, so I can't pit. But I also can't stay on the drying line or my tires will literally light themselves on fire. Track's drying. Would we gain anything if we pitted now?
I don't think the line is really dry enough yet to start thinking about slicks. Let's hold on to the inters for a while longer.
Yeah, Jeff's definitely right. SC's coming in this lap, so I'd just go straight to the back if I pit. So basically, everybody's waiting it out, but now they're waiting it out a few tenths off my gearbox. Fantastic.
Safety car is in this lap. Safety car in this lap. You'll be controlling the pace on the restart. Keep it steady until the safety car has reached the pit lane. Okay, some information on Bottas. They're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
Okay, let's get a good restart in. If I can get a gap going behind me, that much better. Sweet Jesus almighty! When was I given the hard compound? I have no idea what's going on. There's no water on the track, but it feels like I'm constantly hydroplaning. Will, what's going on with my tires? There's no grip whatsoever.
Copy that. The tires got a bit cold behind the safety car. Just shift your braking points until they regain their temperature.
Shift my braking points. Easy for you to say. You don't have a Mercedes hanging off your ass.
Okay, Vince, so we're thinking of pitting next lap. How does the car feel?
It's as if I'm driving on Vaseline. Am I doing something wrong with the temperature?
Negative. Temps and wear look fine to us. It could just be the grease on the racing line. And we're afraid that on slicks it will be even worse. Do you want to pit now anyway?
Negative. Okay. Not pitting last lap was a huge mistake. I have no idea what's going on with my tires. The grip levels have still been non-existent. I've been able to brake earlier and find a compromise on it if there's nobody behind me, but I'd be surprised if they had an even harder time on dry tires this lap. Looks like some pit crews are still setting up. Good to know we're not alone.
Exit now.
And for once, we won't get locked into our pit box by somebody from behind. What an achievement.
No more scheduled pit stops.
Oh, wow. Yeah, the dries have astronomically more grip.
Stewards have now enabled DRS. DRS is now online.
And instantly, there's a Mercedes behind me. See, what these guys have over me is experience, and it's experience that lets you quickly adapt from wet tire pace to the dry. I'm still being too careful and too slow, and this guy's closed the gap on me like it's nothing. I mean, that, and he's in a Mercedes. There's absolutely no point in fighting him. If I learned anything from China, it's that you waste a lot of gas and tires at the front of the train. So I'm gonna try to hitch myself to this guy and have him tow me with DRS. So the hitching thing didn't really work.
Our gap to the car in front is 2.3 seconds.
DRS or no DRS, I cannot keep up with Hamilton right now. He started 16th and now he's in 2nd. This guy's crazy.
Race update, please.
P3, you're currently in P3. Hamilton is ahead of you. Okay, gap ahead is 2.5 seconds. They're on fresh softs. The gap behind us is 2.2 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Pit strategy complete. See these tires through to the end now. 15 laps still remaining.
Oh my! So we're one-stopping on softs. Didn't see that one coming. On a track with such low tire wear, I might actually have to watch my tires in a little bit. Look at this. I'm putting together decent sectors, Hamilton's still within eye shot, and yet Kvyat is still caught up to me. I think he's literally matching pace with Hamilton, and I believe he also started right around there too, around 15th or so. He's making that same Mercedes-style comeback, but in a Toro Rosso. Now, I'm not considering just giving him my position, but I can't help but be impressed with how great of a home race this guy's having. Now, I'm not sure where the detection line is, but an unconventional move, but if I can be in front and get DRS on the straight, I could get away. Ah, no, the line must have been way later. I see how these guys keep up with me. It's real easy with DRS, so when I'm behind, I feel like I'm getting held up, and when he's behind, it's the opposite. Not a good cycle to be in. Very prone to causing truly trains. And again. Now I understand why other drivers give up their spots so easily. Because the more you fight, the higher the chances of drivers farther back gaining time, and eventually also challenging you for the position. Last resistance, Danny. Damn, there's already a third car behind him. Looks like a Red Bull, I think. This is gonna be just great. And now there's a Ferrari, too. I'm leading a train of 3 cars, all of which have had faster dry pace than me all weekend. 3 Libyan missiles ready to strike. I should not be thinking of comedian references right now. This is not a laughing matter. Just cut in between both of them, force them to lift off. Whoa, that was close. And that Red Bull quickly got consumed by what I assume is Vettel. See? You can't overtake me when I have DRS off of Kvyat now, can ya? Ah, shit! I completely forgot Rich Mix and DRS require a completely different braking point. My thoughts exactly, Jeff. Unfortunately, even if I get past Vettel, I'm pretty sure that Kvyat's over a second away. Oh well. Go, Danny! Save yourself! I'll protect you from these animals. If only he would actually return the favor one day. No, he's still on my inside. Not a bad corner exit. Now he's going to push through turn 3. Side by side as we push our lateral Gs, but we have to hold our line here because the next apex is ours, and it's vital. That's what I'm talking about. Well, that was a deplorable corner exit. And see, even though I'm gambling with really high-stakes championship points, I think I'm having way too much fun in these battles. Now, the team would be real pissed if they found out, although unlike some people, I can actually go side by side with the Red Bull without causing a pileup. Now we've got just a few laps left, and what Ricciardo doesn't know is that I've been going easy on fuel so far, so after this battle, it's time to turn it up to Rich and try to pull out a DRS, which means that this battle is crucial. I have to come out in front. Let's try to crisscross him on exit. Not enough traction. Cross again. Inside of 3, what didn't work for Vettel, can it work for us? It has to.
Right, some information on Ricardo. They're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
Now that's anticlimactic, but it's also my biggest chance. Damn! People around me are just liquidating themselves today. Although, could it be that I just forced them to over-rev and rich long enough to damage their engines? Now, wouldn't that be funny? Sorry, Danny. You deserved that 4th place way more than me, I think. Though I did get totally shafted by that pit entry call, so I suppose that evens it a bit.
Okay, gap ahead is 2.3 seconds.
I'm essentially keeping up with Vettel now. It seems that the reason I lost positions is that I just kept battling with people, and with the pack as compact as it is, people just kept catching up. Lesson learned. Besides, a Haas on softs is still not a sight to see. It seems that things got kind of rigged against us from the moment that safety car came out.
Just a couple of corners left now. I wanted to say good job persevering through the conditions today, and to apologize for the pit stop timing. I think we may have lost your podium position with that call.
It was my call too, Will. It really sucks how close we were, but we're a new team, I'm a new driver. We learn every day.
Well done, good finish. You stepped up and achieved what we asked. Good job.
Brilliant stuff from Mercedes today. That's another historic win. Tell me, Ant, what was the key to this success?
Without a doubt, the safety car changed everything today. The key to their success was keeping calm and reacting to the situation quickly. We've seen teams in the past throw away wins because they were too hesitant, but here they were decisive, and that's allowed them to take the advantage.
So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. Lewis Hamilton takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship after an excellent result. Moving on to the Driver of the Day then. Anthony Davidson, who would you go for?
Well, I have to give it to Lewis Hamilton. You know, it was just the kind of drive you'd expect from a multiple world champion.
And now let's take a look at the Constructors' standings. We saw a dip in form from the championship leaders today. Their lead has taken a significant blow. Meanwhile, a strong weekend from Red Bull this time out, and they improve their position in the championship. After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
So, Hamilton and Vettel with massive comebacks today. I think Hamilton overtook Raikkonen on the last lap, just 4/10 between those two guys at the finish line. Meanwhile, I completely curb-stomped Perez, and now I'm up to second in the Drivers' Championship. Not that I expect that to last, but it'd be nice to have Esteban stop being a waste of oxygen and actually help us out in the Constructors. But I'll stay focused on things I can actually control. Spain is next, an absolutely awful track for our car, so I've got lots of work to do.